Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. Brought to you by Blue Sky Business Consulting. We discuss 5 questions in about 15 minutes. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. As always, we are grateful for your participation, and I'm also very excited to welcome our guest. This is Emi Kirschner, and she is from Charlotte, North Carolina, and she is the founder and CEO of Emi Kirschner Coaching. So 3 hard K sounds right in a row there. I got to get them right. Emi, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It's great to have you and to meet you here. Again, we've met a couple of times before, but I'm excited to talk with you about leadership. But thank you so much for joining me. And what would you like the audience to know about the coaching programs that you do?
Yeah. Hey, Shawn, it is such a pleasure to be here with you. I love your energy and your enthusiasm. And what I want the audience to know about me and how I work is a little bit different than most coaches and consultants. I work a lot with personal development with the business owner. So we're looking at limiting beliefs and what's really getting in their way from making the great hires, having a team that's super supportive, what's stopping them in their sales, operations, the whole business. And then I kind of on the flip side of that, like interpersonal development, I help them build the strategy and the processes and the operations to streamline everything in their business. So they're easily attracting those really cool team members and clients who are just creating incredible results in whatever aspect they do. I work with all service-based businesses and they're having fun again in their business. So they're letting go of that stress and the like jitters of, oh my goodness, is this going to work? Or, I don't like this.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And it is very badly needed in my experience, as far as both personally myself, but with the entrepreneurs and the business owners that I've worked over the years, that is something that they all seem to struggle with from time to time, is those limiting beliefs that you were talking about. So I'm glad that you're out there helping them to feel confident about moving forward and really enabling that law of attraction where people are coming to them in a hey, that's a place I want to be. So I'm excited.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's so much more fun, sustainable, and profitable to create and develop a business that pulls people in as opposed to having to push out to get stuff.
Yes, I agree. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started then. Well, Emi, first question. Sometimes leaders have a team that may be kind of a little bit of a lull as far as their energy and enthusiasm and whatnot. What are some ideas that leaders can employ to help re-energize their teams?
Yeah, I love this question because for me, it's so simple. Go play,
Hmm.
right? Like it's so easy to get into the day-to-day grind and the mile-long to-do list or the goals you're trying to reach or the things that aren't working. And sending somebody, if you've got a virtual team, sending somebody or a bunch of somebody's a silly gift, or if you're, in person, being able to go and do something fun together that breaks up kind of the routine and the habitualness of the day-to-day work can be transformative and really bring people together in new relationships.
Oh, I like that. And you and I think a lot alike, because I'm a fun-loving type guy, and I believe that there's serious work to be done, but I believe that we can do it in a fun way. And I think that there's going to be those menial tasks in any job or position or whatever that you just kind of have to deal with. But I was raised that you can take even those mundane things and have fun with them and turn it into a game mentally. So I like that. I'm glad that you're doing that. Okay, question number 2. How can leaders promote learning in their team or company?
Yeah, I think for me, like that's about giving people space and connecting with them relationally. So the way I like to do that is in our quarterly development plans is inquire, like, what do you want to know, both here at work, but outside? Like maybe somebody wants to learn to cook or dance or a different sport. Like, how can I support you in having the time, the bandwidth, the capacity to do that? Because whatever it is that they're learning is going to come back into the business tenfold.
I agree. Yeah, learning is a big deal. And sometimes it's a little bit sad to me when I hear from employees that are working for an employer that maybe doesn't provide that opportunity. And I love that you talked about giving them some space to go accomplish that, because that's really what's needed is to, hey, let's explore a little bit, but you need some room to maneuver, so to speak, in order to do that. So
Yeah.
great comment. Great comment. All right. Question number 3. What's one tip for effective delegation?
Be aware that you are supposed to be delegating anything that's not in your zone of genius all the time, and keep stop doing list. Because sometimes the things that you don't want to do in your role as the leader, you can't let go of because you don't have the space or capacity to bring somebody on, or you don't have the right person in that role to take on whatever it is you want to get rid of. But I keep a stop doing list so that I'm intentional and I have the awareness so that I'm planning and thinking about it for future delegation.
That's really good. I like that phrase. See if I can repeat it. Delegate that is not in your zone of genius. I like that. I get it right. I say that right.
Yeah.
So I like that. And that's exactly, I completely agree with that, because that is part of the challenge, is that we start having, and sometimes it's necessary, of course, that we have to do things that are not in that zone of genius. But as soon as you can find somebody who has that zone of genius, so to speak, give it to them and let them run with it, because that is in their zone of genius and it's not in yours. And that's the beauty of teams. That's the beauty of teamwork. So I like that. I like that approach. All right. Question number 4. When leaders are trying to communicate the vision or values, mission statement, whatever it may be, how can they effectively communicate that so that the kind of the rank and file and the team members, they get it, so to speak?
Yeah, I love this question too. All the questions are great, but I'm a big mission, vision, values person, and it's where I start working with all of my clients and building strategy from there. So for me, it's having very clearly defined mission, vision, and the values, especially because you could say integrity and I could say integrity, and we're going to have two different definitions for it. So making sure that everybody's on board with that, using in every single part of your business, from hiring to sales to operations, and reminding people and asking for input. Like, are we making decisions based on these mission, vision, values? And are we really working towards the thing that we think we are we off base somewhere? Where are we, out of alignment there? And allowing people to have voices without having judgment.
Well, and it's so important. And I love how you explained it, because that is exactly the problem, is that we have different definitions. It means something a little bit differently. And I really like when you said making sure that we're moving in that direction we think we are. And that's part of the disconnect that leaders have with their team members, is that they have this vision when they think that they're moving in that direction. Well, come to find out, the team members are thinking a little bit differently, and they're moving in a slightly different direction. And that sometimes doesn't manifest itself until months or years down the road, when you suddenly realize, oh, everybody's thinking a little bit differently here. So
Yeah.
great comments. I like that. Okay. Question number 5. And this is, of course, my favorite question, because we get to talk fun things here. I love all the leadership discussion, of course, but going back to that idea of having some fun, I always like to end the podcast with a fun question. And here it is. Share with us a baseball story. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah. So this was like 10 or 12 years ago. My kids were like little. They were like 8 and 10, I think. And the guy that I was dating got us tickets to, I'm from Philadelphia, so we got tickets to the Phillies game. And I think somebody gave them to him.
Uh-huh.
But we ended up being like 5 rows up from the Phillies dugout. And the Philly fanatic was like dancing on the roof of that. And we were on the Jumbotron the entire night. And all of our baseball friends who were watching the game were texting both me and him, like, hey, we can see you on TV. And my kids are, up and like dancing around, making faces and doing, normal boy things at that age. But it was so memorable for me. I have no idea if we won or lost either. I think we won, or who we were playing. But it was just such a fun evening, a cool experience to have our like 5 seconds of TV fame.
Sure. The 5 seconds that lasted through the evening, apparently. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The kids were like, they thought they were the, hot shots of all existence at that point in time.
well, yes, and they definitely were. Now, did you know that I am a huge Phillies fan?
I did not.
Did not? Well, now you know. Yes, I'm a big Phillies fan, and at the moment that we are recording this, it's a tender moment because the Phillies at this point are still hanging on by a thread in the playoffs there, but we'll see. Yeah, we need to take a day and just catch our breath here a little bit. But by the time we release this, well, the whole playoffs will be over, that's for sure. Regardless of who won the World Series, we'll find out. But anyway, I love that story because I love the Fanatic. He's so much fun. And
Yeah.
love that you were able to be so close to the dugout. That was a great experience, I'm sure. Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you again, Emi, for taking time to be on the podcast and sharing of your insights and your expertise. How can people find you?
Oh, absolutely. Best way to find me is on LinkedIn. So just look for me at Emi Kirschner, and it's EMI, not with an A. And you can also go to my website, which is emikirschner.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. Really appreciate you coming on and again talking with us today about leadership and teams. And thanks to all of you who join us each week for a discussion about leadership in teams. We hope that you'll find some things beneficial in what we've talked about today and that you'll put them into action with your teams and help boost the leadership and team experience for everybody. We remind you to follow the podcast and to subscribe, and also to pick up your copy of Rapid Fire Leadership on Amazon.com. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great day. This is Shawn Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, go to teamengagementpodcast.com. We also invite you to follow or subscribe to our podcast wherever you may be listening or watching. Is your business thriving? Go to tbs-score.com to find out. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day.